Hi everyone. Assalamualaikum and good morning. So we start with recite Al-Fatiha. Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Prof, you can start.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Zulman. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera. Selamat pagi kepada semua fellow academics of Unit 10. Okay, this week I'm going to share two topics. So today on achieving excellence through professionalism in teaching. And I think this is a good continuation from my sharing last week on competency framework for teaching excellence. So we are still talking about teaching excellence. Last week we have defined, we have presented still in the draft mode, the whole competency framework for teaching excellence. We have defined what is teaching excellence. We have defined also what are the 6 domain of competencies: the description, the proficiency levels, as well as the performance criteria. But this is the document still work in progress under TLC, under the leadership of Puan Zailani. And hopefully this will be approved and endorsed by the Unit 10 management, so that we can use this framework as the guidance to map our professional development program, all the trainings that has been laid out by designed by TLC for the whole year, for the whole calendar year. So today I'm going to expand on what we have discussed last week on achieving excellence through professionalism in teaching. So I'm going to define what is the meaning of professionalism in the context of education, in the context of teaching and learning, and what are the elements that constitute professionalism. We always use this term, be professional, we must be professional, you must act as a professional, professionalism. So professional and professionalism, what does it mean? So I'm going to define it in the context of our profession, which is teaching, as a lecturer, as an academic at Unit 10. Then what are traits we can become so-called professional educator based on the definition? And then how do we achieve that level of professionalism where everyone will, when they look at us, when the students look at us, when the stakeholders look at Unit 10 academics, they say, wow, Unit 10 academics are very professional because they practice professionalism. They have achieved that level of professionalism. So what do we do? How do we do it? What are the strategies, the do's and the don'ts to become professional? And then what are the benefits when you have reached that level of professionalism in teaching?
Ada Prof, ada orang nak angkat tangan tu nak jawab, nak tanya soalan ke?
Saya tak nampak pun ada orang angkat tangan dalam ni masalah dia. Okey, tak apa. Ya, silakan. Ada soalan dah?
Ada soalan ke?
Ha.
Tu dia tertekan. Rafi'ah tadi.
Anytime boleh interject. Anytime boleh interject.
Sorry,
Okay, bro.
tertekan tersilap. Sorry.
Dia
tertekan.
Okay. Then kalau ada masa, saya nak sentuh sedikit tentang lifelong and life-wide learning. Actually I'm going to give separate topic on this one. Tapi kena sebut juga, I have to mention it a little bit in the context of professionalism because it is part and parcel of being a professional and practice professionalism. Yeah. So these are some of the so-called talking point in my sharing this morning. And as usual, I'm going to share the link to download all the slides that I'm going to share this morning. So I'd like to begin as usual because I love quotes, and this quote is very meaningful to all of us. Let's read this together by Maya Angelou, very famous person here. She said that you have sacrificed a lot to be here. In this, you means us, the educator, teachers, the academics. So I'm here to tell you, and this could be student saying this to you. I'm here to tell you how grateful I am, and remind you that you are rainbows in clouds. So, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow colleagues, you are rainbows. We are rainbows. The colorful rainbows, the colorful colors in the rainbows. So you can pick any color you like: red, orange, yellow, blue, green, and so on. But you are one of the colors in the beautiful rainbows. Can you imagine if the students are saying this to you, or the parents are saying this to you? They show the highest appreciation to you being a teacher. Long time ago, the teaching profession or teachers are highly respected. I think in some countries like Finland, teachers are still highly respected. They are there in the group of professional lawyers, architects, doctors, and so on. But I don't know whether that same level of respect is still here today. So I think it's up to us. We have to earn the respect. We have to earn the respect from our students. We have to earn the respect from our peers, from the parents, from the stakeholders. So how do we earn that respect? The short answer to that is being a truly professional. So we have to practice professionalism. As you shall see later, what are the traits of professionalism? So that's to begin with. Beautiful quotes here, very powerful, very meaningful. So I'm sure here, those who are joining here online, you're all very busy. Probably later on you have to leave for classes, meetings, and maybe, while you are listening, you are also doing other things as well, as usual. Because a day in the life of an academic is hectic. It's no time to really to just do anything. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, of course we have to teach. We have to prepare for our teaching. 1 hour teaching, 1 hour class probably will take us 6 hours at least to prepare. So we have to also do research, publish. We have to attend conferences. We have to give lecture. We have to write a research grant. Nowadays, more is expected of us. We have to do micro-credential, MOOC, OER, open educational resources, reading thesis, our students' thesis, doing supervision. We have to join all the various committees, internal and external, with industry consultation. We have to review, to act as a reviewer for a manuscript, examiner. Some become the external examiner. Daily routine as a father, as a mother, as a wife, husband, son, daughter, grandma, grandpa, like me. Okay, so where is the me time? Where is the me time? And yet we are talking here about professionalism. So much on our plate. Sometimes it's spill over already because there's so much. We have to juggle balls, a lot of balls, and we have to do it in such a way that we don't drop any ball. So is it too much to ask for? Is it tall order for all of us to do all kind of things here in a university environment? So how do we deal with all this a day in the life of an academic and still keep our sane? Okay, not going crazy, yeah. All right. So my first message to all my fellow colleagues yang dikasihi, you have to take care yourself first. Take care of your family, okay? Because before we even talk about professionalism and being a professional and talk about professional development, professional growth, the personal growth first must be taken care of. Because without we take care of our personal thing, personal growth, then we cannot develop professionally, because we cannot take care of our own home, our own family, our own self. What's more, to talk about our job and doing the best in our job and excel in our job. So therefore, my first take home message today, if not much, personal growth drives the professional growth. So a call to action. I have 4 call to action this morning. The first one, a call to action number 1, please take care of yourself and your family. Don't reach a point where you give up, fed up, give up, and you burn out. If you can get this book, this is actually a new book, Unraveling Faculty Burnout, Pathways to Reckoning and Renewal. So if you have time to read the book, so that you can reflect on what you are doing and see how you can manage your day-to-day activities in such a way that you want to enjoy every moment in the office doing work, and then when we go home, we will have a good family time as well. So it's what some people say, balancing life work. When we say balancing, it doesn't have to be equal, but it is manageable. It doesn't affect our emotion. We can keep our emotion in check, in balance. So how do we manage our time? How do we distribute our time to do to excel in our job and to take care of our family and have a good family life? There is something that you have to be able to manage. Okay, so that's the first call to action. Please take care of yourself and family. Then only when we take care of our personal, then we can grow personally, and that personal growth will drive professional growth. So please take care of yourself and family. Having somewhere to go is home. Having someone to love is family, and having both is a blessing. Okay, especially for young academics, in the first 5 years, is always struggling. A call to action number 2. Now we have taken care of our personal growth. The next one, okay, let's look at how we can excel in our job, being an academic at Unitan, and really being a professional academic that earn respect. You can earn respect from everyone because you are really showing the professionalism in your job. But what does professionalism mean? That's what I'm going to elaborate shortly. So, professionalism. We want to enhance the professionalism of teachers and education administrators as well. It's not only academics here, but I'm talking to academics mostly here, but even everyone at Unitan, including from the top management down right to on the ground, to the staff, academic staff, non-academic staff, to the support staff, technical staff, and so on. Everyone without fail must demonstrate that highest level of professionalism. And then with professionalism, we can be very agile, very flexible, and very adaptive to the VUCA world. The world that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So we are more or less future-proof or future-ready, regardless of what's coming to our way in the future. Come what may, we should be able to deal with it. Not panicking, because we are professional. Just bring anything to us, we can deal with it. Okay, we are dynamic, we are agile, we are adaptive. So agility and adaptability are the two of the characteristics or traits a professional must have. And when we are a professional or demonstrate professionalism, we are ready now to deliver so-called the next generation student experience, end to end. Okay, end to end. I have explained what does end-to-end educational experience means. On our part, we are somewhere looking at the learning experience, the LX, and learning design, how we design our curriculum, how do we deliver that in the classroom. So the LD, learning design, and the LX, learning experience, or the UX, user experience, LX, UX. So we can deliver the best. When we deliver the best educational experience to our students, 4 years when they are at Unit 10, when they go out, don't you think that they will become the ambassador of Unit 10 and spread the words? And that's how we can attract people. Unit 10 will become a strong magnet that will attract people because it is the place where education experience is the best. Everywhere you see, everywhere you go, you see professionalism at the highest level being practiced. So, are you a professional educator? Are you a professional academic? Let's look at the definition, one of the definitions here. A professional is a person who possesses a personal body of knowledge, so you are an expert in your subject matter, and know-how. Not only know who, but know-how. Both are important actually nowadays, know who and know-how. But professional is more on the know-how. You really know your stuff. You are the master of your subject. And you are recognized and valued by the market, because this is a definition in the context of business, but basically recognized and valued by your students, by the stakeholders. Okay. And professionalism is believing passionately in what you do. So you have a strong belief, you have a strong conviction, strong commitment in what you do. You love what you do, and you do what you love, and you love what you do. Never compromising your standards and values, and caring about your clients, in our case, our students, our stakeholders, your people, our peers, our colleagues, and your own career. Passionately, that's a key word here. Okay. Or maybe if you take the dictionary definition of professionalism, is the conduct, the aims or qualities that characterize or mark a profession or professional person. And this guy here, Abdul Karim Alias, is my own words here. I quote my own words. If you simply perform your duties in accordance with the JDs, the job description, then you are putting in just enough effort. So let's say the JD or the job description saying that you have to do this, and you do it. But no more than that. That's okay. So you have done enough. But if you go more than that, go the extra mile without being too calculative, berkira, and deliver results that are better than expected, then you have demonstrated the highest level of professionalism. If everyone here at Unit 10 or any institution or organization just doing enough, the organization can function. But if everyone go beyond what is expected of them based on the JD, then the organization or the institution can excel and stand out from the crowd. So don't we want to do that? Go beyond our job description and do the best and beyond the best, so that Unit 10 can really excel and flourishes. In the context of teaching, How do we define professionalism? So this is one way of defining it. Professionalism in teaching refers to the adherence to a set of standards. So we must have that so-called professional standard. So now it's easy. We have the competency framework. We have the performance criteria. Now let's define what is the so-called professional standards in teaching. And then we have a set of behaviors. If you practice this, you must show this kind of behaviors and values. Okay, and that is reflect in the commitment to excellence and a sense of responsibility and accountability towards students, colleagues, and the wider community beyond the Unit 10 campus. This basically, I hope you can take it to your heart, understand it, and then let this be the guiding light, the beacon for us to really reach this level of so-called professionalism with a set of professional standard that we adhere to, and show that in the way we behave, the way we communicate, the way we talk, the way we argue, discuss, debate, engage in the discussion, the way we treat our students, the way we work with our colleagues, and so on. So something to ponder together. A professional educator does not consider his or her profession to be merely a job. It's not just a job, but it's a calling, it's a vocation that is centered on the students, on the children of their students. So the center that we put in the center of our our ecosystem, learning ecosystem, is the student. The ability to establish personal relationship, to establish rapport and connections with students is a distinguishing character of a successful teacher. So if we have a teacher A, B, C, what distinguishes them, what differentiates them is the way they establish connection with their students, the way they treat their students, the way they help the student, the way they work together with the student, the way they educate and nurture the students. That's what differentiates an outstanding teacher with maybe just ordinary one. So at this point, if you don't mind, can you put in the chat box to respond to this question? So I will switch to the chat box shortly. What is your best investment so far? So far meaning the X number of years you've been in Unit 10, if you are 5 years, 10 years, whatever. What is your best investment so far for your personal and professional growth? Can you say something in the chat box? I'll take about 1 minute to give you the time, then I will switch the chat box and see your responses. So the question is, what is your best investment so far for your personal and professional growth? Why do I use the term investment? Because in order for us to get something, we have to invest. We have to pay. We have to invest. So when we say investment, we expect return, right? We expect return. So when you invest in your personal growth, you will grow professionally, hopefully. When you invest in your professional growth, you will become a better professional. You will demonstrate higher professionalism, level of professionalism. That's the return. Okay, so now let's look at the chat box. Okay, I'm not seeing any response yet. Still thinking. Okay, Dr. Betty say still thinking. Okay, Dr. Puan Malinda, jauh daripada Muazzam ya, time and money. Invest time and money to join training and subscribe apps. That's a good one. That's a good one. Training, ya. Yeah. Hari ini dibangi. Okay. Oh ya, ya. Remember Tuan Haji Rosli kata apa ada program di masjid ya. Okay, nanti boleh kita jumpa nanti ya. Boleh kita makan di bawah tu. Alright. So anyone else? How many people we have here? Dr. Zuman, ramai ke kat dalam ni?
Ada 44 orang.
Ada 44 orang. So baru dapat 1-2. Dr. Betty still thinking. Tamasha, knowledge. This your investment? The question is, what is your investment so far for personal and professional growth? Investment in knowledge, yeah? Okay. Dr. Chua, personal growth, time, money, effort spent on learning new skill apart from my engineering skill, such as skill related to social science and education. That's a good one also, because all of us have PhD in something, right? But beyond that, because when you develop professionally, you are not only become the master of your subject matter, but we are talking about more holistic traits and attributes, yeah. Professional growth, okay. Joining professional learned societies to network with other excellent role model and learn from them. That's good one also. Reflect and learn from others. Yeah, through maybe peer interaction, mentoring, coaching, things like that. What about others? Okay, keep on responding there. I cannot wait for very long because time is limited. But the bottom line is, the point that I'm trying to make here, in order for us to grow, we have to invest in terms of time. Time is number one. A lot of people say, oh, I'm busy, I cannot make it, I cannot attend this and then attend that, I have lectures, I have to prepare for this and that. Yeah, of course, when you have lecture, if you have lecture now, of course, you cannot attend this one. But to me, if we really, if you really want it, we have to make a point, and whether you find time, you find the money, because you want to invest for your personal and professional growth. But because when you grow personally and professionally, it will take you a long way in your career path, and perhaps also helping you to jump to a higher trajectory faster. Because it's all about growing, professional growth, personal growth. The key word here is growth. So it's about growing. And if you're not growing, you are dying. Basically, if you are not growing, you are just maintaining the status quo. And sooner or later, just like a plant, when from green turn to yellow, turn to brown, and is dying. You need to nurture it. You need to put in water, nutrients, fertilizers for it to grow. That is the investment. So again, if you attended the program last week, my session last week, again, this picture, I love this one because it really illustrates how from the seed germinate into a small plant, and then it will grow. So professionalism is basically like this. In teaching, professionalism in teaching is about the journey. The journey is all about growth from a so-called novice, the first 5 years, to become a professional. We are talking about professional here. And then, of course, ultimately, we want to be recognized as a scholar. Okay, so it's a long journey. It's a long journey, but we have to start somewhere. We have to put ourselves and push ourselves sometimes in a situation where we enable us to grow. Okay. So again, last week I shared this slide because it is one of my favorite quotes here. You should constantly change and adapt with your student. Adaptability, remember, that is one of the characteristics of being a professional. of professionalism, because the world is changing so fast. Tomorrow probably will be different from today. So we have to adapt to the different environment, just like this animal, sesumpah kan. You have to be able to adapt. You can teach 20 years, but please don't teach 1 year 20 times. Okay. So if you do that, meaning that you are not growing, you are basically complacent, comfortable. Your bubble does not expand, does not, you don't bother to stretch the bubble, because why bother? I have so many things to do. I have so many balls to juggle. So why should I add another thing on my plate? So if you have that kind of mindset or mentality, then you will not grow. So again, the same slide. I repeat again this week, just to reiterate the point. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and again and expecting different results. No, there's no such thing. In order to grow, we have to put the work, we have to put in the effort. We have to do things differently, think differently, so that we can, through innovation and so on, so that we can grow, we can expect different results. So when we move from being a novice, still new, still green, still finding a footing within 5 years, if you continue to grow, you'll reach a level of professionalism, and ultimately to being recognized as a scholar, sarjana ilmu, someone that is sangat cintakan ilmu. Orang yang cintakan ilmu ini, dia akan carilah masa kat mana saja ada webinar, kat mana saja ada short course, dia cari funding atau tak dapat funding. I have a few people in USM, dia tak dapat funding, tak diluluskan, dia keluarkan duit poket sendiri. Because dia sangat cintakan ilmu, sebab dia tahu ilmu itu akan memberikan dia membangunkan dirinya sebagai seorang scholar. Wise, bijaksana, wisdom. So ada experience, ada ilmu, ada pengalaman, experience, ada wisdom, kebijaksanaan. You cannot buy that. You have to invest in it. Menyebarkan, berkongsi ilmu. Okay? So all this actually cannot happen overnight. Rome was not built in one day. It has to be on an extended period of time. So we have to go through the process. It become thinker, ahli fikir, someone that is always thinking. So when someone become or recognized as a scholar, they become a thought leader. We call it, the term is a thought leader. Someone that is always thinking from the big picture. Okay, always look at things at the big picture, and also menjana ilmu baru, generate new knowledge through research, and discover new knowledge, discover and generate new knowledge. So this is everyone at Unit 10 should have in mind. I want to reach this level where one day I will be recognized as a scholar. So now I must start the process from now. So again, repeat this diagram. Competency, that's why I want to relate this back to competency framework and the different level of proficiency. And today we are talking about professionalism and being a professional, and therefore we have to go through a process called professional development. Develop ourselves to be a professional and ultimately to be a scholar. So at the novice level, we are exploring. We are still trying, trial and error, still finding our footing, still, learn a lot of new things. So exploring, novice, I would say first 5 years. Then we start to adapt, and adapt. Adopt, adapt, and adapt. So this is an adopting stage. So at this stage, you reach a level where you display the characteristics of being a professional. We will look at the characteristics later on. And then of course, alamak, tak tukar lagi. professional. This was supposed to be a scholar. I thought I have corrected this last night. And this is actually supposed to be a scholar. Okay. I think I will correct it straight away. Okay. My apologies. So this leading stage is where you be recognized as a scholar. Okay. Right. So now, how do we become a professional? What are the traits? What are the attributes, characteristics of being a professional educator? Let's look at it. So, elements of professionalism in teaching. Professionalism, based on the definition just now, when you reach that level, in the context of teaching, it would translate into competence. So we have the 6 competencies in our competency framework. We have described it. So among other things, you really, you teach engineering, right? Okay. So I teach electrical and electronic engineering, but I specialize in this area. But can you really demonstrate your mastery of the subject matter? You really, people can see or students can see, wow, this, our lecturer is really an expert in this area. Students recognize that. Peers recognize that. University recognize that. So you must have a knowledge mastery of subject area. Practice scholarly teaching. Remember last week I explained scholarly teaching, the first dimension of of competencies in our competency framework. I have a slide on this one, the definition, what does it mean by scholarly teaching. And when we reach this level, you are competent. You are practicing scholarly teaching, not just doing it and not understanding what is the underpinning theory, the underlying principles. Student-centeredness. You practice student-centeredness, not only teacher-centered, but student-centered. Teacher-centered is still relevant, but maybe 70% is more on student-centered, 30% you have teacher-centered. Not to say that teacher-centered is not relevant at all. Chalk and talk is still useful, but then you practice the large part of your every learning session is student-centered. Effective communication, you can communicate very well. You speak clearly. You can articulate your ideas, express your ideas, explain the concept, explain the principles, the complex principle in a way that the students can really understand. But in order to do that, you must be a subject matter expert, really master of your subject, because if you don't have a clear understanding or mastery of your subject, you won't be able to explain the principle or the concept clearly, especially for a complex concept. By the way, I have another session, I have another talk or webinar talking about how to explain complex concept. Yeah. So effective communication, you have to learn how to communicate clearly. Okay. Versatile or polymatic. I have another topic also on being versatile educator or so-called polymath. Polymath means you have multiple skill and flexible, and of course lifelong learner. So we are talking about competence as one of the elements. The second one is conduct. Again, you can see a long list of bullets here. How, basically looking at how you go through day to day, your conduct as a professional educator. You are driven by passion, passion driven. It's not because you have to do it, terpaksa, but because I am driven by my passion. When you are driven by your passion, you can go beyond the job description, go extra mile. Okay, you teach from the heart. You touch the heart of the students because you teach from the heart to heart. Demonstrate and practice values. Everything about you, when people look at you, when students look at you, wow, you show all the good values. You are empathetic, you are sensitive, you are Your personality is very warm. When you step into the classroom, you bring the positive vibes, positive energy. Your smile is very infectious, things like that. Practice values. Agility and adaptability in the VUCA world, needless to say, agile and adaptable. Teach beyond the textbooks. Now, the challenge of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, and so on. So we have to teach beyond the textbooks. Carry oneself in a respectable manner. The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you communicate, everything is important. That defines professionalism in you. Ethical conduct and being a reflective practitioner. After I finish my webinar, I asked Dr. Zulman, can you give me the link of the recording? I want to watch the recording. And I learn from there and try to improve more and more. We would never reach a perfectionism because by nature, human being is never perfect. But you want to reach and raise the level of your professionalism every day. Learn from every class, every presentation. So, reflective practitioner is looking back. Hindsight, remember? When you have the hindsight, it will give you more insight. Then you can do foresight. Improve in the future based on the lessons of the past. And you are good team players. Everyone wants you to be in the team. Everyone berebut. Oh, I want Dr. Jehana in my team. Because when you have this person in the team, you know that you can deliver the work. You can get things done. Oh, I have a few people in USM that semua orang berebut. I want this Dr. Saiful, for example. Semua berebut, KPT pun berebut, MQA pun berebut. Because this person has great value. That great value come from high level of professionalism, come from dia punya mastery of the subject matter. Okay, and of course the third one is performance. When you are competent, when you conduct yourself accordingly, then you will be demonstrated. The bottom line is the performance delivered effective, meaningful, impactful, and memorable learning experience. That's the bottom line. Wow. I'm sure everyone here aspire to be, recognized by our student. And we get feedback that, wow, doctor, you have one semester with you just flies like that. Because every time, every class, we enjoy every moment of it. And every time when we have a class, time flies. We don't want to, we want to be there in the class because we enjoy every moment. We enjoy every activities that you do. Even we like to look at you because you show all the positive vibes and positive energy. I get energized when I look at you, things like that. I'm sure everyone should strive for that kind of feedback. Highly respected educators, scholar, we become a model, exemplary. Okay, so my dear colleagues, basically, these are elements of professionalism in teaching. Do we have any feedback, input, comment at this point? Puan Malinda, anything from you?
Belum lagi, Prof.
Belum lagi
Sedang
ya?
digest.
Okay.
Tengah reflect diri kat mana saya berada.
So what's your thought on this one? Your take on this slide?
I think it's a big challenge. I personally would take it as a big challenge, because to get that kind of feedback, it's like I need to do something yang luar biasa with the students lah, yang can make wow them, something like that lah. And it is not easy.
Not easy. Nothing is easy. And yeah, yes, it's not easy. is something that we have to build up slowly. But we must put the effort. That's the main thing. So of course, it will take like, that's why for Anugerah Akademi Negara contohnya, minimum 10 tahun baru boleh apply. Kalau ikutkan ini dulu masa peringkat awal kita kata 15 tahun, 10 tahun pun tak cukup nak minta Anugerah Akademi Negara. So argue, in the end 10 tahun. So 10 tahun pun not bad lah. Maknanya you have reached that level of professionalism and perhaps can be recognized as a scholar. So kita nak tengok lah apa ciri-ciri being a scholar tu. That's what we assess in Anugerah Akademi Negara. But 10-15 years, can you imagine? So it is quite a long time because our so-called career span is perhaps 35 to 30 years kan. Okay, so any more feedback? Puan Lani ke, Dr. Zolman ke, siapa-siapa yang ada di sini, Dr. Jahana yang saya ingat nama lah, kan? Rakan-rakan lain, kalau dapat banyak feedback ni baru seronok lah, kan?
Prof,
Ya.
sorry, saya selalu terfikir macam mana kita nak tahu that we are doing the right thing. I mean, should we like have our friend ke tengok balik apa yang kita buat, or you know those kind of things. But sometimes we thought that we are doing the best, tapi rupanya it's not good enough.
Yeah. The first kita can always refer back to the so-called professional standard. Nanti insyaAllah kita akan ada lah the documents kan. We have to look back at the professional standard, and we can look at the so-called performance criteria in each competency yang we have defined in our competency framework. That's one way. Another way, of course, the so-called peer review. Dalam research publication, peer review is a normal process. But in teaching, it's hardly known. Peer review does not exist. So, tapi kita boleh buat secara individually, voluntarily. We can invite, let's say, Puan Lani, can you attend my class tomorrow or next week? I want to get some feedback from you as a friend. You know, maybe you can help me to identify what what I do right, what I do wrong, what are the things I can improve. You know, and from people who know how to evaluate what are good teaching, what are the criteria of good teaching, and of course the feedback from the students as well. So these are so-called the peer review system that perhaps Unit 10 can take the lead to develop such a system. The thing is, most people I find, they don't like their class or their teaching to be evaluated by other people, which is very sad. To me, very unfortunate. Kalau boleh, please come to my class and please give me feedback. And another way, what I can do is actually I make my teaching available online. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see I have so many videos, my lectures recorded. You know, my classes recorded and it's available on my YouTube channel. So from there, I can get feedback from people all over the world. And that is very valuable, in fact, invaluable feedbacks for me to improve my teaching. So that's probably partly to answer Puan Malinda's punya question tadi. Yeah. Okay, I will proceed. And scholarly teaching. So it's very important for us to practice scholarly teaching. Remember here under competence, practice scholarly teaching, which is one of the dimension of in our teaching competency framework, scholarly teaching. What does it mean? Scholarly teaching is committed to using a teaching approach informed by sound pedagogical principles and theories. That's why it's very important for everyone doing teaching. Although you can be engineer, you can be medical doctors, you can be pharmacists, you can be scientists, but when you do teaching, you must learn the pedagogical principles.
Prof.
Yes.
Saya tadi bagi tanda, saya tak tahu. Prof dah jawab yang chat Dalam chat tu Zubaidi.
Okay.
Soalan saya bagi tanda tadi.
Okay.
Dah jawab.
Prof. Zubaidi tanya, adakah student evaluation akan reflect kepada profesional kita? Kadang kita buat bagus, cuma bila evaluation trigger low point, ianya demotivate kita. Yes. Well, student evaluation kalau gunakan instrumen ataupun borang yang disediakan oleh universiti, sepatutnya dia telah direka bentuk soalan-soalannya untuk memberikan penilaian yang holistik terhadap our own teaching in the whole semester. So whether it's reliable or not, there's a lot of questions and debates on this also in USM. Padahalnya kita dah revise the form. We have invited the experts many years ago, but still some people are skeptical. To me, it's quite reliable. So if the students have answered or have done the survey sincerely and honestly, before they do the survey, you can ask your student, please give your honest feedback, because your feedback is very useful for me to improve. I want to improve. So you must give some give a message to the students that we value your evaluation because we want to improve. We want to improve. So yes, you can. It's quite reliable. You can take the feedback as a reflection of your level of professionalism. Maybe not 100% because there are perhaps students yang very kind of vindictive, yang memang tak suka you for whatever reason. But this will be in minority. It will be in minority, maybe 10% or less. But majority, I think you can take it. Okay, so that's from my observation lah. Some people kata ambil, we take the evaluation as with a pinch of salt. Maknanya tak usah ambil berat sangat lah kan. Tapi I trust my students to give, because I told them I value your feedback. I've done my best, but I don't know whether my best is something that you can accept or something that you value. So please tell me where areas I can improve. Yeah. I hope that answers the question. Yeah. Right. So scholarly teaching meaning that whatever that we do in our classroom, we understand it is based on the certain theory and principle of adult learning, of pedagogical principle, and it is evidence-based, research proven by research that it works, it is effective. So when we do, let's say, scenario-based learning, what is the research? What does research say about scenario-based learning? If we use whatever innovation in our classroom, check the evidence from research, whether it work or not. The next, in the coming webinar, there's one title where I talk about visible learning. I hope please make a point to come, because that is actually, I will talk about a work by Professor John Hattie. He has looked into a range of research, looking at the different techniques, different innovative technique that people use, and has done research on it, and what worked and what didn't work. So I will share that part. So you can look at what worked, then you can adopt in your class straight away if you like, if it's relevant to your particular subject. So let's look at in more detail now the traits, the attributes of being a professional. So the first here, just now, is scholarly teaching. You are the subject matter expert. You're really expert in your subject matter. Second one is someone who is professional educator. They are not driven by KPI. They are not driven. They are not saying that, oh, I have to paksarela. No, but they are highly driven by passion. They are passionate about teaching. They know that teaching is one of the best noble profession in the world. and they will be rewarded. If not here, for Muslim, we believe will be rewarded hereafter. So driven by passion. So I love this example. I always use when I talk about professionalism and being professional. I take sport or sportman or sportwoman as one example here. Most people know Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of football, but I know him. He is earning millions a week. Maybe a lifetime of our income is equivalent to 1 month of his salary. Why? Tapi bila in one of the interviews with him by the magazine, the reporter asked him what's his motivation. Dia kata, is it money? Because you are being paid very high. Dia kata, no, money is not my motivating factor. Whether you want to believe him or not, that's a different question. Dia kata, money is not a motivating factor. Money doesn't thrill me or make me play better. I'm just happy with a ball at my feet. Passion. But of course, he acknowledged that money has value. Of course, there are benefits to being wealthy. But my motivation, my true motivation comes from playing the game I love. If I wasn't paid to be a professional footballer, I would willingly play for nothing. These are very powerful words. So I take this and I want to reflect, how do we use the same words, but in the context of our profession? Yeah. So these are one of the program for young lecturers in USM, which is under my center. This guy joined USM after he served 10 years at another university. Then he came to USM, joined as a new staff in USM. So it's compulsory. Whether he has 10 years experience behind him, he still has to attend. And he didn't mind. And after 2 weeks program, he came to me, not even before the program finished. I think after a few days, he came to me, thank you, Prof, for letting me joining this program. Although you know that I have 10 years experience, I find that this program really an eye-opener. I thought 10 years is good enough for me to know everything in teaching, but no, when I joined your program, it's really eye-opener. I learned a lot of new things that I've never, I'm not aware of. Okay, so if you are like Dr. Chow here, he value knowledge. So is it we want our educators to say something like that. Money is not really a motivating factor. Of course, you get raise maybe, you get a salary increment maybe, but money doesn't thrill me or make me teach better. I'm just happy with the chalk in my hand or marker pen in my hand. That's where I am most happy, the moment where I'm enjoying myself. But of course, if the salary is higher, the bonus is higher, it's good to make us comfortable, take care of our family, right? Personal growth drive professional growth. Remember, the family happy, we are happy, we can develop professionally. But my true motivation comes from teaching the subject I love. I love teaching chemical engineering. I love teaching electronic engineering. I love teaching computer science. I love. Not I like. Beyond like is love. Love is different. Students I adore. I love teaching the subject to the students I adore. I love my students. If I wasn't paid to be a teacher, I would willingly teach for nothing. Can we say that? It's hard, right? So when we display highest level of professionalism and we deliver the best learning experience to our students, perhaps students will say this: grades are not motivating factor. This one on the student side. They kata, oh no, grades are not a motivating factor. Grades don't thrill me or make me studying harder because there are benefits to having a first class or 4 flat. I'm just happy with the knowledge and skills I gain My motivation comes from studying the subject I love. If a paper qualification is not required for job or for the study, I would willingly be studying for the love of learning. For the love of learning. If Unit 10 and Unit 10 people really successfully instill that kind of love for learning after 4 years, the students being, at Unit 10, wow, that is the best education. That's where Unit 10 would really become very outstanding educational institution, because all the graduates, when they go out, they become a lifelong learner. They would not stop learning because we have nurtured them, we have developed them to become a true lifelong learner. To the extent that they say grades are not a motivating factor, but because Unit 10 has made me, has developed me into knowledge lover. They have the knowledge for learning. Nothing else matters. So Simon Sinek, if you don't know him, one of his best-selling book is Start with Why. Dia kata in his book, no, not this one, not in, yeah, it is from his book. Working hard for something we don't care is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. So remember just now, passion driven is one of the professional traits of being professional educator. Passion. I am driven by passion. Therefore, I don't care about whether people recognize me, whether people will say good things about it, but I am driven by my passion. I do what I love what I do, and I do what I love. I give my best beyond everything. So remember, I showed this Professor Walter Lewin, MIT. He loved physics. He loved his subject. He even wrote a book for the love of physics, from the end of the rainbow to the age of time, a journey through the wonders of physics. So another trait of being a professional educator, you give the best learning experience for the student. We give the best. We orchestrate experiences. If you look at an orchestra, the guy doing this thing is called the, what I call this,
Conductor.
so he's the one, what's the guy
Conductor.
leading the orchestra?
Conductor, Prof.
Conductor, yeah, conductor. Thank you so much. So what does he do? He has like 20 plus 30 musician playing different instrument, right? So what he or she does is actually to orchestrate, to ensure that everyone will do their parts harmoniously to deliver the whole piece of music, right? So this is what we call orchestrate experiences. And if we look at ourselves as being an academic or professional educator, just like that conductor, orchestrate the learning experience of our students. I think this is a very good metaphor that we can use, as a metaphor. Orchestrate experiences. Because why? Because students, when they spend 4 years in US in Unit 10, not only they want education, but they want experience. Remember, I mentioned this again and again. Educational experience consists of learning experience plus the life experience, the campus life experience during the 4 years in Unit 10, at Unit 10. So students demand experience. Who will give them experience? We are the one. We must orchestrate that experience, design that experience, so that there is something that they will remember. Remember, impactful, unforgettable, memorable learning experience that forever they will say the good things about Unit 10. because of that learning experience. They would be willingly to become the ambassador. They would be willingly promote Unit 10. They would want their children, their grandchildren to go to Unit 10 because they know Unit 10 will give them this same experience or maybe even better at that time. Give them the awesome learning experience. Who can deliver this? Professional educators. So again, from Mayam Angelo, my favorite poet, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Students would never forget how we make them feel. So if we utter, we say good words, they will remember. If we say bad words, they will remember also, because they will feel. If you touch their heart, they will remember you forever. Another quotes from Alan Cohen here. Don't just give your students a lesson. Everyone can give a lesson, but not everyone can give them experience. Okay, so as a teacher, as an educator, we should constantly thinking about our students, thinking about our subject, our course. How do I make this course more exciting, more interesting, more engaging, more fun, and yet the bottom line, effective, meaningful, impactful, useful for the students.
Prof,
Yes, yeah.
um, how did you tackle the situation where we try to change the, I mean, kadang-kadang most classes diorang masuk is more like lecturing macam tu kan. So bila kita nak buat something new, sometimes the student a bit reluctant to join or to enjoy the moment. How will you tackle that kind of situation?
It depends on the type of activity that we design. If the activity is designed that we design in such a way that it requires everyone without exception to participate. Good example. For example, have you all ini Puan Malinda ke tadi?
Ya betul.
Puan Malinda pernah guna jigsaw?
Jigsaw pernah?
Pernah. So
Pernah.
in jigsaw, when you do the jigsaw in the classroom, there's no way there's no way that not everyone will participate. Everyone need to participate if you design it properly lah, kan? That's one example of activity. I don't have time to explain the jigsaw. That will be probably another session. But in jigsaw is one of the best example that I can give example how to make sure everyone would participate without fail. So it goes back to how we design our learning experience, meaning that learning activities. Jigsaw example.
Every time bila lepas certain classes, saya akan minta mereka feedback on the session, on that particular class, on the activity. There are ramai yang kata seronok, but there are some yang rasa it's not their style ataupun minta balik pada lecture normal macam itulah.
They feel they are being left out kan? Tapi itulah.
Ada juga yang feedback dia saya tak dapat ikut bila berbincang ramai-ramai saya tak dapat ikut. Ada juga macam itulah.
So maknanya bagus dapat feedback macam tu bagus. Then kita tahulah, oh okay, now I need to rethink, redesign, re-strategize. Mungkin I punya aktiviti ni terlalu apa ke, then kita kena tengok balik lah. Itu. Tapi that will be another session yang kita talking about student engagement ya, insyaAllah. Tak tahu minggu bila, when we talk about engagement tu, then kita talk about apa caranya kita nak engage student ni supaya tak ada yang tercicir kan. Remember, engagement is about connection. Jadi kalau dia tak buat atau dia tak turut serta, tu maknanya dia disconnect tau. Dia disconnect. Jadi kita kena address the issue of disconnection tadi tu pula. Itulah bukan mudah kan.
Itulah.
Macam tu.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you for apa ni. I appreciate that kind of feedback and question and so on ya. Otherwise saya rasa macam kesorangan lah kan. Tapi itulah when we talk about learning experience ni, kita kena jadi learning designer. Tadi kan macam Puan Malinda tadi, kita kena design, sometimes kita kena redesign balik, especially kalau kita dapat feedback yang useful macam tu, ya. Because we won't meet the needs for more and better education until teachers go beyond being just teacher but become learning designer, because learning designer will design the best learning experience, ya. So satu lagi ciri-ciri professional educator ni, create the magic moment. Wah, macam mana nak create magic moment ya? Kita kena jadi magician ke? Okay, create magic moment. Ini bagi contoh lah, mungkin some of you have seen, because this is one of my favorite video ever that I always show Professor Walter Lewin ni, when I talk about create magic moment. I'm not sure whether you will hear the sound, but let me just play this video.
You count. Oh, my expectations are high. I want to hear you loud. You ready for this? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. And here is the femur of an elephant. So I need a volunteer. 1, 2, relax. What does it remind you of? Two, 1, 0. T with Walter Lewin. 45.6 plus or minus 0.1 seconds. Physics works, I'm telling you.
Physics works, I'm telling you. Boleh dengar ke audio tadi? Boleh dengar
boleh,
ke?
Prof, boleh.
Okay,
Boleh.
Boleh.
Dah pernah tengok tak video ni?
Saya belum.
Pernah, bro. Very interesting.
Okay. So, saya nak tanya pada rakan-rakan semua di sini, jawab yes or no dalam chat box ya. Adakah sesiapa yang merasakan bahawa dia telah mencapai level macam Walter Lewin ni, cara dia conduct dia punya kelas? Kalau ya, saya telah capai, kata yes. Kalau kata belum, kata no. Saya nak tahu juga. Boleh tak? Very quick one, 10 second macam tu, tak lama, kata yes or no je, boleh tak? Ya. Okay. No, not yet. I suka not yet ni. I suka Dr. Chua, not yet. Yang lain kata no. Okay, fine, not yet. Okay. Kalau kita growth mindset, kalau you all baca buku growth mindset kan, the mentality or the mindset of not yet. Not yet. Not yet maksudnya, not yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm determine, saya berazam untuk sampai ke tahap macam Walter Lewin. Not yet punya mindset ni, kita kena ajar anak-anak kita, cucu-cucu kita. Not yet. Kalau dia kata, oh, can you read now? No, tak boleh lagi. No, jangan kata no, kata not yet. I cannot read now, but I'm learning now. Then soon I'll be able to read. Can you do this? No. No, don't say no. Not yet. You cannot do this now, but not yet, because you can learn. You will learn, then you'll be able to do it at some point. Okay, so tak ada yang kata yes ya. Tak ada yang kata yes. Saya pun kata no juga, because this is a very high benchmark. This is a type of MIT education.
Oh, my.
No wonder, kan? But this physics, can we do that? Can we reach this level, at least a quarter of this benchmark level set by Walter Lewin? As long as kita aspire to, then there's a chance we can reach that, level. Always, constantly aspire. and get yourself inspired by this kind of scholars.
Expectations are high. I want to hear you laugh.
So that's a kind of memorable, you create that magic moment in your class that to those students watching that demonstration really engage them, really make them, create that moment that they will remember forever. So create that magic moment, also create the
Prof,
so-called
Prof.
yeah.
Ada soalan daripada Betty tu, kalau sebelum yes no tu, ada awal-awal tu,
Betty.
selepas Zubaidi, dia ada soalan.
Saya kena scroll kalau okay, jumpa.
Betty tu.
Okay, bro. When we say we need to be student centered, is there an optimum number of students in the class and maximum of students a lecture can take so that we are able to take care of our student academically and emotionally? This is a very good question from Prof or Dr. Betty here. Number counts. Yeah, we always want everyone here perhaps always want to have a small class. I would say 20 to 30 would be a good number, manageable, because it's more manageable. Then we can do student-centered more effectively and more in a more manageable way, not too exhausting for us, But the bigger the class, I would say more than 30 is very hard for us, and it's not going to be easy for the student also. Not easy for us definitely to manage. So I would say 20 to 30, the smaller the better for us to do student-centered. It's more
Prof, hang. Prof. Prof. Prof, boleh dengar? Okay, Prof, keluar dulu. Keluar balik, masuk balik.
It's a magnet. For you, I know how to put it back.
Prof. Prof, boleh dengar saya tak?
Energy in there. That's amazing.
Prof.
Let me slide it down because you are doing a great job. Look at this. We slide it down and it comes out this big old hole right here. In 15 years of asking the questions, I'm trying to find the difference between good and great. A great teacher doesn't teach us facts. They teach us this real-world application. And a great teacher teaches us not how to do something, but why to do it. And the long and short of it is a great teacher teaches us these unforgettable and kind of gives as a gift these unforgettable learning experiences. You're just going to drop it in and hello. Life is good, right? That great teacher is somebody that I may not even remember what I learned in her class, but I do remember loving the fact that I was sitting there in that class every single day. That's an unforgettable moment. Go!
Loving the moment, every single moment, every single minute that I sit in the class. Yang kena. Unforgettable learning experience. The teacher creates energy. The teacher creates positive energy in the class that make everyone would want to learn. Yang itu kena. Yeah. So we should strive for that, aspire to be like that. So you can watch Steve Spangler, Steve Spangler on YouTube. He's very famous, always on TV dan sebagainya in the US lah, and many schools in US actually, the K-12 look up at him, invite him, learn from him. Teachers learn from him how to, especially teaching science or STEM subject, and make it very fun, memorable, interesting to the students. Okay, so science or engineering even, can be made very interesting, but you have to create that magic moment. You have to create that so-called unforgettable learning experience for the student. Of course, we have to work. We have to put a lot of hard work, of course. Are you willing? Well, so it is incumbent upon us also, our responsibility also, to unleash the students' potential. Always tell the students that during 4 years at Unit 10, probably you will learn only the tips of the iceberg. You will develop skill only the tip of the iceberg, but there are a lot more below the surface, the submerged below the surface that you need to unleash. So as much as we can, we try to unleash the student potential during the 4 years, during the time when they attend our course, our class. But we have only, 1 semester, but other lecturers have also, classes with them. So if every one of our lecturers understand about unleashing student potential, then of course, collectively, we can deliver the best learning experience for the student, and we are able to unleash the student potential to the fullest.
Now, who's next? Mr. Anderson, so you're sitting there in agony. Come on, Todd, step up. Let's put you out of your misery.
I didn't do it. I didn't write a poem.
Mr. Anderson thinks that everything inside of him is worthless and embarrassing. Isn't that right, Todd? Isn't that your worst fear? I think you're wrong. I think you have something inside of you that is worth a great deal. I sound my Eric Yelp. The rooftops of the world. W. Uncle Walt again. Now, for those of you who don't know, a yelp is a loud cry or yell. Now, Todd, I would like you to give us a demonstration of a barbaric yelp. Come on, you can't yelp sitting down. Let's go. Come on, up. Gotta get in yelping stance.
A yelp.
No, not just a yelp. A barbaric yelp.
Yelp.
Come on, louder.
Yelp.
Oh, that's a mouse. Come on, louder.
Yelp.
Oh, good God, boy, yell like that.
There it is.
You see, you're a barbarian in you after all. Now, you don't get away that easy. Picture Uncle Walt up there. What does he remind you of? Don't think. Answer. Go on.
A madman.
What kind of madman? Well, think about it. Just answer again.
A crazy madman.
Oh, you can do better than that. Free up your mind. Use your imagination. Say the first thing that pops into your head, even if it's total gibberish. Go on.
A sweaty-toothed madman.
Good God, boy. There's a poet in you after all. There. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close them. Now, describe what you see.
I close my eyes.
Yes?
And this image floats beside me.
Sweaty-toothed madman.
The sweaty-toothed madman with a stare that pounds my brain.
Oh, that's excellent. Now, give him action. Make him do something.
His hands reach out and choke me.
Wonderful.
And all the time he's mumbling.
What's he mumbling?
Mumbling truth.
Yeah.
Truth like a blanket that always leaves your feet cold.
Forget them. Stay with the blanket. Tell me about that blanket.
You push it, stretch it, it'll never be enough. You kick at it, beat it, it'll never cover any of us. From the moment we enter crying to the moment we leave dying, it'll just cover your face as you wail and cry and scream.
Now, this is what about 1 minute video. So I purposely let you watch the whole video. It takes our time, but it's okay. Because it is a very meaningful video to me that demonstrate something here. So please, I hope everyone still here. If you can put in the chat box, what are the traits or the characteristics displayed or demonstrated by this teacher here? Please put in the chat box. What are the characteristics or the traits shown by the teacher here to the extent that the students can speak up, can even do something that even the student himself perhaps does not believe he can do. From very introvert kind of passive to someone that can, oh, I can speak finally. Yeah, so please. Okay. Puan Malinda. Never give up.
Betty ada mention tu dia tak dapat jawapan yang tadi, Prof. Tadi dia drag, ada masalah ni, line.
Oh yeah. After telling that it is best, then the line time. Oh, okay. Well, basically that's basically the kind of the. In other words, small group is more manageable for student centered. I would say 20 to 30. There's no kind of rules on this, but it's more on the practical basis, logistic. Yeah. If you have too big, more than 30, I would say not really easy to do student centered. Yeah. So everyone here, I hope you can help me to respond, because it's very important after you watch the video. If you have really look at it on the screen just now, if not doing anything else. Now, what are the thing that you look at, you see in the teachers there in terms of what? In terms of the characteristics and the traits. These are kind of professional traits that we want all our educators to have. Dr. Tahara is here. Passion. Okay, what else? We are talking about online engagement here. You know, it's not always easy, let alone dealing with our students. Sincere interest in student outcome. Semangat, ya, semangat kan, kita nampak the teacher tadi bersemangat, dan memang ikhlas dia nak unleash the potential of the student kan. Okay, good. Sincere interest in student outcome, passion. Tuan Azlina kata never give up. Dia tak give up walaupun student tu macam nak tak nak aja kan. Kita, you know, I'm sure you get students yang macam itu kan. Buat acah tak acah, bukan acah tak acah, acuh tak acuh, acah tak acah, acuh tak acuh, buat tak peduli. Kita nak cuba push dia pun dia tak mau bergerak. So create the moment, the magic moment. The teacher should not be the saint on the stage. Yeah, never give up on the student. Never give up on the student. Understand the needs of the student. Empathy, empathetic. Yang kita, salah satu value tadi tu. We talk about value, empathy. Kita ada empathy, empathetic to the students. Dulu kita pun struggling masa kita student. Itu kita empathize. Having viewpoints from the student and think of ways to help the students. Kalau tak boleh cara ini. Tak boleh cara ini, cara yang ini. So ini yang kita kata teachers must be resourceful also. Kalau one way is no go, try another way. We don't give up on the student. Never give up on the student. Trusting the potential of each, kata Dr. Saiful. Passionate scaffolding. Love that. Scaffolding. Bantu dia. Gunakan, kaedah scaffolding. That's probably a subject of another talk. Scaffolding is temporary structure when we build a structure, a building, so that we guide the students step by step. Don't throw them into the water, although we know the person cannot swim, but teach step by step, things like that. That's scaffolding. Passionate scaffolding. Okay, so thank you so much for everyone here who have responded to this one. We expect more, of course, but as usual, we will get only a handful of people who will respond. But I want to say this from what I see in this teacher. Siapa nama dia ni? Siapa yang berlakon ni? Robin Williams. Jadi ROA dah dia. No, don't you think that as a teacher, kalau kita reflect ourselves there, he's very passionate, sangat sabar kan? Sabar dia, kesabaran dia yang amat tinggi walaupun student tu buat acuh tak acuh kan. Kemudian diketawakan oleh kawan-kawan dia pun mungkin student tadi pun dah hilang keyakinan. So kita dia sangat sabar. Satu lagi dia sangat konsisten. Dia terus kalau dengan cara ini student tu tak respon, dengan cara ini dia tak respon, dia gunakan cara lain. Konsisten, resourceful ni melalui pengalaman dan melalui pembelajaran professional development yang berterusan, dia ada banyak kaedah. Dalam toolbox dia ada banyak tools, ada banyak tricks of the trade, so to speak. Okay, kalau tak boleh cara ini, gunakan cara ini. Tak boleh cara ini, I can do this way. So ini yang kita kata being resourceful. You have a lot of tricks up your sleeve, tricks of the trade. Yang ini, when you reach a level of professional, remember dalam chart tadi tu, novice, professional, scholar, you are able, you are very flexible, you are very adaptable. You can change the way you teach according to the environment, according to the behavior of the students, or the classroom, the people, and so on. So I think so far at this point, I'm only kind of halfway, but I think we this 2 hours kan sampai 11:30. Tapi I think at this point, basically you have seen some of the traits of being a professional educators. Macam Walter Lewin lah, ya, energetic, enthusiastic, inspiring, exciting, thought-provoking, persistent, tak give up. So untuk jadi macam ini ni, kita kena ada banyak energy tau. That's why kita ni dah jadi nak mengajar 1 jam, 2 jam kan. Saya suka kelas sebelah pagi. All my classes actually 8 AM kat USM. But I don't have problem with students don't come, ya. Alhamdulillah. Kenapa 8 AM? Because that is where the time when I most at my I'm most energetic. So the students sometimes they came quite sleepy, mungkin dia orang tidur lewat kan. Student kan selalu tidur lewat. Tapi the way you design the activities and so on, okay, dia kena bangun, dia kena buat, dia kena tulis dekat board dan sebagainya. So that give them the energy and that wake them up, so to speak. But we ourselves need to come with positive mind, positive energy, and a lot of energy, because otherwise you are not able to perform. Because teaching is also in a way, is a performance. You have to perform. Okay? So you need a lot of stamina actually. So I'm giving this webinar, sitting on my chair. That's not the best way. But I need stamina. So just now, this morning, I take quite a heavy breakfast so that I get all the I burn the calories when I'm giving this webinar. Okay. Oh, and influencer. Kita kena jadi influencer juga dalam zaman social media ni, ya. So we want to transform our academic into influencers. Influencers ni, dia buat apa pun orang akan ikut kan. So when you have influence, you have the ability to transform minds, transform behaviors and outcome of the student. Student respect your opinions. And dia dengar you cakap. They trust you, trust your judgment, and listen for your voice above all others. Dalam elektronik ni, you punya signal is much higher than the noise. So SN ratio tu is high. Engineer senang faham kan SN ratio tu kan? Senang, signal to noise. Alright. So kita nak macam Sukata Mitra kata, sorry salah ejaan, Sugana. Dia katakan, it's not learning happens, kita tak nak force. Making learning happen macam kita force learning to happen. Tapi kita nak, but it's about letting it happen. Dia macam automatic. Student nak, because they love learning. So just letting it happen, you just design it, you just plan it, and it just happen. Macam tu. Okay. Ini saya sendiri, my own words ya. To me kan, great teachers, great educators or academics, great lecturers, dia ni unpredictable tau. Meaning what? Every time dia datang masuk classroom, dia buat benda yang lain. So student always kind of curious. Oh, this time apa Dr. Zulman nak buat? This time apa Dr. Tahara nak buat contohlah, ya. Sebab every time dia datang masuk kelas, jadi you create that anticipation, you create that excitement. I remember during my form 4, form 5, my favorite subject is chemistry. So I always look forward, tak sabarlah besok tak ada chemistry, tak best lah. Kan nak tunggu cikgu tu datang. So daripada atas kelas saya tingkat 2 kan, nampak cikgu datang berjalan. Oh ya, yeah, cikgu kimia datang. That anticipation tau. Kita tak mau student kita, alamak besok ada kelas lah dengan Dr. Zulman, boring lah. Itu contoh ya Dr. Zulman, jangan marah ya. Contoh. Boring lah, dia tak look forward. When students don't look forward to your class, there is something yang I think we need to do something about it. You want to create that unpredictability, okay? Supaya you don't teach 20 years. Don't teach. You can teach 20 years, but please don't teach 1 year 20 times. Mana benda yang sama, ulang sampai transparency dulu tu jadi kuning. Okay? PowerPoint pun itu jugalah. Ya, sekarang dah ada Canva, dah ada macam-macam. PowerPoint dia macam tu lah, design dia yang 10 years ago tu tak ubah-ubah. Kan? So, tak maulah macam tu kan? Alright, so we want to make learning fun. Kata Einstein, tak tidak dia kata, tapi katanya dia yang kata, it is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy. Awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. It's an art. Teaching is an art and science. The science is on the evidence-based research, the pedagogical principles of adult learning theory, all those. Arts is our own creativity of how we deliver, how we create that magic moment, that unforgettable moment. That's the arts part. This is based on our creativity. So it's for us now to unleash our own creativity as a learning designer. Okay, it's incumbent upon us. So ini student saya, okay. So ini bukan dalam lab, dalam USM. Kita bawa dia ke mana saja yang boleh kita bawa dia. Kita ajar dia food processing, how to produce apa nama ya brand tu, Chickadis ya, Twisties, all the snack lah. So itu the course that I teach, I taught last time in USM ya. So kita bawa ke dekat satu pilot plant dekat Mardi ya. So dia pun buat lah. So instead of dapat small bits of the twisties tu, dia dapat macam ini. So kita pun ambil gambar. Dia orang pun seronok. It's a new product. Yalah tu, saya kata new product sangat lah tu. Tapi saya kata bagus juga ni, jom ambil gambar. So don't you think that is memorable kind of experience here, rather than doing it in the lab, and that equipment that we have in the lab cannot produce this kind of process or product. Tapi I have to arrange for the logistic, the bus, everything to take them. So a lot of work, and I have to get permission. I have to pay, for the place, for the instrument. Banyak benda kena buat. Nak buat tak nak buat. Okay? Because I want to engage them in the learning process, engage their mind, engage their psychomotor, engage their affective part. Dia rasa seronok, dia rasa bermakna pembelajaran itu. Then they are able to develop that skill. So we address the cognitive part, we address the affective part, we address the psychomotor part. Okay, the C, the A, and the P. Ini satu contoh dalam kelas.
And Aziza, you just hold that bottle. You cannot tell which one is more viscous, right? So what you have to do if you want to see which one is more viscous than the other one? Pour. So are you going to do that now? I have a plate here. You can do some experiment and let's see. Which one is more viscous? Are you shaking?
Okay, the point here is we involve the students, get them to do, because learning is something that the students do, not we do for them. So learning by doing. So this is only a very basic demonstration, far away from the benchmark set by Walter Lewin. Yeah, but at least we try. So we talk about.
That's enough. That's my source.
We are talking this in this course, in this particular topic. I'm talking about flow behavior. So for mechanical engineer, chemical engineer here, these are actually flow behavior, the flow dynamic, the fluid dynamic. Yeah. So, but I'm teaching in the context of the food processing. So I need to use example. We want to make it contextualized. Remember, you have to take example from food products and so on to teach about the concept of flow behavior before I talk about the concept of rheology, the principle of rheology, yeah, which is a lot of physics behind it. So before you go into complex concept, we prepare the concept. It's a scaffolding concept. Prepare them so that they feel comfortable and get ready into more difficult concept. Engineering especially is like that, yeah. So
and
let's
Aliza, you just hold that bottle.
let the students do what they can do for themselves with your guidance, with your help. So you want to teach beyond the textbooks. Now we have ChatGPT, AI, and so on. You cannot just teach based on the textbook. You have to go beyond that. Seth Godin kata, if there's information that can be recorded, widespread digital access now means that just about anyone can look it up. Anything that Uncle Google can give, anything that Auntie ChatGPT can help, we have to go beyond that. So we need to crack our head now how to go beyond that. Okay. So education is not the content, is what you take with you when you forget the content. Kata Amin Sabri from Stanford University. So we have to move away from the mindset of covering the syllabus. Kita yang nak cover the syllabus, but can we design every lesson in such a way with series of learning activities so that the students now would be able to, we empower the student, give the power the students to unleash their creativity, to uncover the content, to learn the concept, to learn the principles by doing the activities that we have designed for them, by doing the formative assessment that we have designed for them. So it's a 360-degree flip from the mindset of, oh, now week 6, alamak, I baru cover 30% je the syllabus. Alamak, I baru cover 10%. Alamak, I belum habis cover lagi dah week 13 ni. I cover. But flip that mindset, empower the students to uncover it. It's a very powerful kind of concept. That is really a student-centeredness, student-centered kind of learning, empowering the student. Student-centered is about empowering the students. Okay. And if you have reached a level of scholar, professional to scholar, there is a time when you now become, you share everything. You share with your students, you share with people outside the boundary of Unit 10. The more you share, the more you gain. I share, therefore I gain. Then some people say, oh, I'm not experienced, I've been teaching only 2 years, nothing to share. No. Everyone has some little knowledge. Why not? Just share. Spread the knowledge. Okay. Touch the heart. The heart of education is education of the heart. Teach. To teach is to touch a life forever. So what you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. In my collection of quotes, I love. If you are on Twitter, just use the hashtag Live Love Teach. You will find so many quotes there that you can download, save it, and use it to inspire you. Sometimes, there are moments where we are down, so we need to look, when we look at all this code, then it reminds us why we are here, why we are teaching, why we are at Unit 10. So finally, in the maybe 5 minutes, I will wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, my call to action now you have understood, hopefully, what is the meaning of professionalism, what does it take to become professional educators, what are some of the traits, some of the characteristics or attributes of being a professional educator. So in order to reach that level and to continue to grow professionally, we have to put ourselves in a situation where we continue to learn, upskill, reskill, and strive to be highly competent based on our competency framework and agile. Okay. So these are the competency framework I have elaborated last week. If you missed that, you can listen to the recording. Okay. And being an online educator also, these are some of the competencies that you might want to, look at and develop yourself to acquire this skill and master the skill at the highest level of proficiency, so that when we talk about professionalism in the context of teaching excellence, competency framework in the context of teaching excellence, this is the meaning of teaching excellence, the attainment of a highest level of proficiency in knowledge, not only high, but highest level of knowledge, skill, abilities, and behaviors required for effective teaching. These include technical or functional competencies such as subject matter expertise, instructional design, and behavioral competencies such as communication, collaboration, and cultural competency. This one I've shown in one of the slides previously. What does it take to be a professional and how that translate into competence, conduct, and performance. Remember the 3 elements just now. And this one I will skip. I thought I have time to cover, but this one probably I will, well, it will be there in the slides. You can download the slides, but I will talk about this in great length, another session, another 2-hour session, because being a lifelong learner and life-wide learner, what's the difference between lifelong, life-wide? Maybe there will be in another session. But it's part of being a professional, to develop yourself to be a truly professional educators. Because if you want to reach that level of being a scholar, you have to love learning. You have to continue to love learning, and you have to adopt the mindset that I am still learning. Okay. A great teacher is a lifelong learner, truly listen to their student and is curious, because curiosity kills the cat, right? Curiosity drives innovation and awakens talent. Life as a teacher begins the day you realize you are always a learner. Okay, so ini contoh lah ya, nak tunjuk gambar saya pergi Jepun on my research leave, bukan sabbatical ya. I take research leave, I apply fellowship under JSPS. I went there for 1 month, 3 months, different time. And this is how I developed myself, in this case as a researcher, not so much as a teacher or teaching, but this one for research. So take all the troubles to apply the fellowship, take all trouble to travel to Hokkaido in this case, expand your networking, learn new skill, learn new techniques, new scientific instruments, and this is where you networking with researchers from different places, not only from Japan, but from India, from Sri Lanka, from Europe, and so on, from Korea. This one in Kagoshima, I went here for 3.5 months under JSPS again, and also under MOSTI. Fellowships are everywhere. You just be proactive to apply for the fellowship. And here I became a student again. After when I went there, I was already associate professor or professor, I remember. This one is a professor, I think, already professor. But okay, I became a student again, and yet and I enjoy myself. Published a lot of papers within the 3 months, and learn to cook. It's a visiting scientist house, yeah, very well, very good place. Okay, so this one I will talk in on under the topic of lifelong learning, yeah. So there's so much more, and the pinnacle of being a scholar is being recognized as a scholar. When I received this Anugerah Academy Negara AN in 2008. The minister was Khalid Nordin, and now he became a second time minister again. Okay. Finally, Simon Sinek kata, well, you have spent 2 hours if you've been here since the beginning. Perhaps you feel inspired and motivated, but words can go that far only. Words may inspire, but only action creates change. You have to take action. Okay. You feel motivated only for a short time, but then if you don't take action, it's not going anywhere. Most of us live our life by accident. We live life as it happens. Fulfillment comes from when we live our lives on purpose. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. If teaching is worth doing it well. If research is worth doing it well. So Steve Jobs kata, stay hungry, because when you stay hungry, you would want to be lifelong learner. You want to learn all the time, acquire new knowledge, new skill. Stay foolish, because when you stay foolish, you will continue to be creative, innovative. You will create magic moment in your class. You will unleash the students' potential. So stay foolish. People will say that you are crazy, but all the best technologists, inventors, scientists in the world, if you read the history of these scientists and inventors, during their time they were labeled as crazy people. But from these crazy people, we enjoy the technology that we have now. So stay foolish.
Oh, terus hang, Prof. Taking. Well, Prof dah tak dengar dah. Prof. Hello.
Boleh share cari jalan. Done. So I will unshare the screen.
Prof.
Ya, okay. Ada soalan ke?
Nah,
Masih ramai lagi.
The last part tadi Prof lagging, so we couldn't hear anything.
Allah Akbar. Awak tak habang.
Dr. Zolman keep on calling, tapi saya rasa memang Prof pun tak dengar kami kot.
Oh, iya ke? Allah.
The last slide was on the stay foolish.
Oh,
yang
ya.
foolish tu.
Ya. So, tapi tak apa. Yang last slide satu lagi tu is actually nak bagi link, tapi saya lupa letak link tadi tu. So, what I will do, I will share the link dengan Dr. Zulman. And then Dr. Zulman cari jalan lah nak share dengan semua participant yang ada di sini. Boleh tak?
Okay, kita masukkan dalam chat nanti.
Kalau tak nanti mungkin the next session tomorrow, I'll give the link. I will Dr. Zulman please remind me to share the link to download lah. Ya. Mungkin lebih mudah besok saya share the link lah. Besok we have another session ya Dr. Zulman.
Bagi teaser sikit lah. Bagi teaser sikit.
Bagi teaser sikit. Basically, I want to share tomorrow. Now I will dive into talking about learning. So tomorrow I'll be talking about 7 principles of learning, evidence-based. So actually, I will share from this book. This is my favorite book, How Learning Works. 7 research-based principles for smart teaching. So now, after we talk about professionalism and so on, now we want to understand learning and we want to understand learners, students. So we will go deeper into that. Yeah. So that's tomorrow. Yeah. So
Alright.
all. Kalau ada apa-apa soalan dalam chat ada ke Dr. Zaman?
So far tak ada. Semua terjawab. So kat sekarang ni bagi kalau ada satu soalan boleh? Kalau ada.
Kalau ada apa-apa boleh, you can unmute microphone.
Ha.
I hope I have given value lah for your time. And
Wow. Memang awesome, Prof. Okay. So
Nanti mungkin boleh
4,
ya. Tak ada ya?
tak ada. Okay. So terima kasih kepada Prof and all the colleagues, all the sahabat, thank you. So see you tomorrow for the apa ni lagi awesome lagi 7 research based principle. Kita tak payah baca buku tu. Prof dah terangkan. Wow, best.
Ya, saya dah khatam buku ni berapa kali dah.
Oi, tak datang besok rugi. Okay, Prof. Terima kasih, Prof. Terima kasih semua. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Chelsea.